Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Reagan and this is my channel WRAP Reads, and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up and my June TBR. Yeah. So usually I do these as two separate videos, but I kind of just wanted to combine them because my TBR videos tend to be kind of shorter because I only pick like 5 books based on the spin wheel that I do. And so it usually tends to be like a little less than 10 minutes, and my wrap up is only 9 books. So I'm just gonna try to keep it short and sweet and to the point, so that way this video is no longer than like 15-16 minutes. So will we get there? I don't know, we're gonna try our best. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This month, like I said, I read 9 books and it was such a good reading month. Like, I read some amazing books, and I also found one of my new all-time favorite books / book series, and this might be, as of right now, my favorite book that I've read in 2021. So I started out the month with, oh, I have this one actually. So I started out the month with Heart Recaptured by Tilly Cole. One of my lovely subscribers, LaDonna, got this for me, as well as Hero by Lauren Rowe, which you guys will see probably in my next month wrap up because I just started that one. But I adored this book. It was so good. I don't remember what I gave it on Goodreads. I think I gave it 5 stars. Oh yeah, she got 5 stars. This was so good. So this is the second book in the Hades Hangman series. The first book is called It Ain't Me, Babe, and this follows a motorcycle club called the Hades Hangman, and this is about the VP, the vice president of the club, and we read about the president in the first book, and this is about the VP and the other girl, the main character girl's like best friend. And so kind of the storyline of this book series is that this main girl is rescued from a really serious cult, and this cult is like just no good, like not good. It's really basically like a front for like pedophilia and stuff like that, which is just terrible. But basically she gets rescued from this cult at the end of the first book, and she ends up striking up a relationship with Kai, who is the vice president of the motorcycle club, and he is basically having to teach her about like real life and the outside world because she still truly believes in the cult. Like, she thinks that like the mission of the cult is still true, and so he has to kind of convince her that it's like whack. And so he has to like show her about the new world, like show her that you can like eat things and like have like eat pancakes and like things that have sugar in them and all this stuff. And they kind of develop this relationship, but things get very, very intense about 3/4 of the way through the book. I don't think I've ever read something so graphically intense, and it was very explicit, very intense. Like, I almost had to put the book down a few times because it was just really bad. So trigger warnings for like sexual abuse, torture, blood, like just all the things that you could possibly think of are definitely trigger warnings for this book. But it was very, very good. I love a little bit of darkness to my books, so I really, really enjoyed this one, and it was darker than the first one, It Ain't Me, Babe. So 5 stars to Heart Recaptured. I cannot wait to read the third book. That's what I'm most excited for. It is about Flame, and I believe her name is Maddie, and I'm so excited. I love Flame. I'm so intrigued by him. He's really creepy. So anyways, I love this book. Gave it 5 stars. Then I literally picked up the best book of all time, and that was Stolen Soulmate by Mary Catherine Gebhard. If you guys watched my vlog that I did a couple weeks ago, this was the book that I read, or the 3 books that I read during the vlog. So this is technically the second book in the series, but I started it as like the first because Naima from Naima's Reads is the one who told me about this book series. So it was in like one of her recommendation videos, and so I was like, I'm gonna try it. But the first book is about a whole different character, but the second, third, and fourth book follow the characters that I'm about to talk about. So I started with the second book, which you can too. No need to read the first one. I don't know if I'll ever read it because I just can't. Like, I simply cannot. So anyways, the second book is called Stolen Soulmate, and this follows the characters Story and Grayson Crown. And Grayson Crown is like the big playboy, like rich. He lives in this like huge castle estate thing. He like owns industries, and his family is just like famous and rich, and like he's just like basically a prince. Like, think Prince, but like in like the modern day. And then Story, who is a maid at this like estate. It's called like Crown Point, I believe. And so she works there, she's a maid, and all things are good. And then one day she gets snatched up into a closet by Grayson, and he just starts like macking on her face, thinking that she's somebody else. And all of a sudden the light cuts on and the real girl he was trying to kiss walks in and is like, what the heck, Grayson? Like, how could you do this? I knew you were gonna cheat on me, like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what the heck? He thought that he was kissing this other girl, Lottie. And he was in fact not, he was kissing Story. And so he like hates Story all of a sudden, and he like wants her to pay for the damage that she did with his relationship. So he basically takes her as his personal servant, and she like has to stay with him and like go all these places with him and parties with him. And oh my goodness, it is literally a work of art. It is a masterpiece. The writing is phenomenal. It's beautiful. I was just in shock at how beautiful the writing is. Like, I want to purchase these books and then I want to read them again and just like highlight the crap out of it, because there were some one-liners in this book that literally cut me open. So I read Stolen Soulmate and immediately jumped into Forbidden Fate, which is the third book in this series, but the second book of Story and Grayson's story. And then I jumped immediately into Destroyed Destiny, which is the last and final book in the series currently. And that is the last book that is about Story and Grayson. So this is the end of their storyline. And oh my goodness, this series was just, I ate it up. Like, I think I read the whole series in a week. I read all 3 books in a week and I just ate them up. I simply could not do anything else. They were amazing. Definitely one of my all-time favorite series. And I like can't even say it's my favorite book, because it's not even like the specific book that I loved. It was just this series in general. So anyways, this book series was amazing. If you don't read anything from this video, but you need to read this one. Like, you need to read this series. It is really dark. There is trigger warnings for sexual abuse and probably a couple other things I can't think of off the top of my head, but oh my goodness, so good, so good. It actually has one of my least favorite tropes in it, and you know what? I didn't care. It was so good that I didn't even care. I was like, I don't even care. I was annoyed because I didn't like the trope, but I didn't even care. I gave all 3 books 5 stars. Amazing. Please go read this series. Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. So then I wanted to read just another KU romance, so I picked up Don't Kiss the Bride by Carrie and Cole. This book follows a girl named Skylar and a guy named Lucky. So I ended up giving it 4 stars, I believe. Let me check. Let me double check. I always forget. Okay, yeah, so I gave it 4 stars. I really loved the beginning more than I loved the end, but I'll explain why. So this book is about a girl named Skylar and a guy named Lucky, and well, Lucky's like his nickname, but he goes by Lucky. So Skylar is a senior in high school. She's 18 years old, and Lucky is actually like a little bit older, pretty significantly. I think he's like 32, and he is a construction worker, and he's working on this house across the street from her high school. And one morning, it was like the first day of senior year, she's already 18. She pulls into the school in her really cool like Corvette like car, and she's like blasting some 80s music or something, and she just catches his eye. He like goes about his business, and he's like, whatever, she's in high school. And then later that day, her car won't start on the way home from school, so he comes over and he like helps her, and he's like, well, you're probably gonna have to get it towed, so like, do you need a ride home? So he takes her home, and they just keep running into each other like all the time. Like after school, she's like walking to work, she like passes out, he like helps her off the ground, takes her to the hospital. So like they keep running into each other, and eventually she exposes that she's going through some stuff. She has a really, really bad home life, and she has some medical issues, and he basically offers that they get married as like a marriage of convenience so that she can take advantage of his health insurance, because she needs health insurance in order to pay for her meds and the therapy and all the things that she needs for her health issues. So she says yes, and they get married, and that's kind of where the story takes off. So they do this like marriage of convenience, and of course like they're gonna catch feelings. We all know how it goes, but anyways, this was really, really sweet. I loved the tension at the beginning of the book and all throughout it. It was just so, that's why I love marriage of convenience, because the tension is just so there. Like, it's forced proximity. It's great. I loved it. So I love that aspect of the book. It did slow down a little bit for me towards the end when they were figuring out if they wanted to be together. For him, the problem was the age gap, and really it bothered him, but like he couldn't get over it. And I was like, brother, like I understand you're dealing with it, but like get over it. He'd like get over it and then be like, no, I'm not over it. And then he'd get over it. And so that bothered me. And then also I just don't really care. Like once the characters get together, I don't care to read about them for another 100 pages. I just am here to find out how they get together, and then I don't care anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't need that. So anyways, I did give it 4 stars, but it was really, really good. I just kind of talked negatively about it for a minute, but it was such an enjoyable story. I really, really liked this. I do want to read more by Carrie and Cole. From Bookish Potatoes recommended the Torn series, and I think that's what the first book is called. So I'm really excited. I'm going to read more from her, definitely, because I really enjoyed her writing, and the story was fabulous. So 4 stars to Don't Kiss the Bride. Next up, I picked up Tattered by Devney Perry. This is a book about a girl named Tia, and and a guy named, what's his name? Logan Kendrick. And they meet one night when she's a bartender and he comes into the bar, and they spend the night together and they have a one night stand, and years later, like 6 years later, they run back into each other, and she's determined to make him stay because he has a daughter. And she got pregnant the night of the one night stand, but they never traded like phone numbers, last names, anything. And so she never was able to find him. So she ended up moving across the country and raising her daughter in Colorado, I believe. And he runs back into her randomly in Colorado, and she's like, oh my God, you have a daughter. And basically he has to figure out how to continue his life, like trying to be there for his daughter, but also he lives in New York City and he owns a business there. And so he kind of has to do like the back and forth thing. But it is really, really sweet. If you love single parent romances or second chance romance, this is definitely gonna be a good book for you. It was super sweet. It wasn't something I was like totally into just because it wasn't as dark or as like, I don't know, it just like wasn't enough for me. Like it felt like something I would have read in like 2019 or 2018 when I was like just a little bit younger, but I feel like my taste is so much like darker and like more intense now that I need a little bit more. And so this was just like slightly boring for me. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars, but it was a good book. Like I really did enjoy the story, and I love single parent romances, but the problem with single parent romances is they tend to be a little bit too innocent for me, or they tend to be a little bit too light-hearted for me, and I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more depth, a little more weight to the story, and maybe a little bit more darkness. So this wasn't the best for me, but it was pretty good. 3 stars. I had a great time with it. I flew through it, so definitely pick this one up if it sounds interesting to you. Okay, I need to speed this up because I'm taking a long time. I picked up Boys of Brayshaw High by Megan Brandy. I gave this book 4 stars. It was pretty good. This is a story about a girl named, I always forget their names, like literally the moment I finish the book. So this book follows a girl named Raven who is getting kicked out of her, well, not kicked out. She's actually being saved by social services from her home life. She lives with her mother, and her mother is really toxic. So Raven has a really tough home life. She lives with her mother, and her mother is basically a prostitute, and men would come over and like sleep with her, and then they'd like try to come on to Raven, and it was just like really bad. She was underage. It was just not good. So anyway, social services helps her. She gets out and she gets sent to this group home, and it's like the Bray house or whatever in this like town. And she ends up going to school and catches the eyes of this little group of friends. There's like 3 of them. It's Maddox, Royce, and Captain, and they basically like hate her for some reason, and they like feel like they have to get her under control because they like own the school and they own the town, and it's like super secret society weird. We follow Raven, and she ends up starting this like kind of weird relationship with Maddox, who's like the head of the group, and their story just picks up from there. It's just a high school romance. It was pretty good. I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. There's just like a lot of tension. It's dark. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. But then I picked up the second book because I really wanted to know like what happens and continue with the story. But I picked up the second book, got like 20% into it, and simply didn't care anymore. It was just okay. So I ended up DNFing that one. I just like didn't care to continue on with the story. I really wanted to read Captain's story or even Royce's. I just like didn't care to read another book about Raven and Maddox. So anyways, I was like, I'm out of here, bye. So I dipped and I DNF'd it. But it was okay. The first book, Boys of Brayshaw High, is like the first book about Raven and Maddox. And a lot of my friends on Goodreads raved about this book series. Like, and this book specifically, saying that it was so good. Like one of the best things they ever read. I just like didn't get that vibe. So anyways, I gave it 4 stars. And then the second one is called Trouble at Brayshaw High. DNF'd it, didn't care, 20% in, I was done. So I didn't rate it because I DNF'd it, but clearly if I DNF'd it, it's because I didn't care about it. So it wasn't a bad book. Like the writing wasn't bad or anything. I just was like bored. So I guess, I don't know, does that make it a bad book? I don't know. All right. And then lastly, the last book that I read, I literally finished last night. Today is June 1st. So I literally finished it last night at like 12:10. But that is Angel Unseen by Jay Bree. This is the first book in the Unseen Motorcycle Club series. The one and only currently. This was written back in 2020. So I'm hoping that there's some news coming up soon about the second book because I need it immediately. This book was amazing. I gave it 5 stars. Did I give it 5 stars? I don't remember what I gave it. Oh no, I only gave it 4 stars. Okay, it's true. I only gave it 4 stars and I still stick by that. It was really, really, really good. Just wasn't 5 stars enough for me, and I'll explain why. But this book is about a girl named Angel and a guy named, what's his name? I literally finished it last night. I literally finished it last night. What's his name? Tommy. Oh my God. Ugh. Tommy. How did I forget that? So this story is about a girl named Angel. She moves into this town at the very beginning of the book because she needs to make money and she needs to make it fast. So she also has like touch phobia, like she doesn't like when people touch her. So she decides to join a strip club and be a stripper, and she just tells the girl when she like gets hired, I don't do extra. Like I'm just gonna be here to dance because I'm a dancer, and then I'm like leaving. Like I'm not doing anything extra. I don't want anyone to touch me. And she knew that it was owned by the unseen MC, and so she knew that they would like take care of her. Like they weren't just gonna let people like grab her and stuff like that. So she ends up joining this strip club and starts stripping, and she ends up meeting the owner of the club, Tommy, who is like I don't even know if he has a role in the MC. He's like pretty high up though. He's like family, so he's blood, so he's like eventually gonna take over the MC with everyone else that's his family members, but I don't really know like what exactly his role was. I really don't remember. But anyways, I really enjoyed the MC aspect of this book, and the romance. It was really good too. Angel's secrets that we're like trying to learn throughout the story came out a little bit too late for me. I wish they would have came out a little bit earlier and there would have been a little bit more played out with that. And so that was my only disgruntlement. I don't know if that's a word. And also I talked about this with my friend Sam, but my problem with this, I've never read anything by J. Bree. My problem with this was that we'd read from the girl's point of view, and she'd be like talking and we'd watch this whole scene happen, and then it would switch to Tommy's point of view, and we would literally be back in time and watch the whole scene happen again, but from his point of view. And that bothered me because like I really don't care to read the whole scene again. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. I don't want to read the whole scene again from your point of view. I wish it would have just, the moment that her scene, like the moment that her point of view ended, we picked up immediately right at where it left off, but instead it would go back and we'd like have to, I don't know. It was weird. I've never experienced that before. So anyways, it was okay. It was really good. I did really enjoy it, and I'm really, really excited for the next book because that is the couple that I care about the most. I feel like most of the times these book series that authors write, they always pick the most important character to write about first. Like with Tilly Cole's motorcycle club romance, the first book is about the president of the motorcycle club. This one's not about the president. The next one's about the president, and so, or the future president. So I'm really excited about his story. He is so fascinating to me, and the girl that he likes is so fascinating to me, and there's an age gap, and that just makes it so much better for me. So anyways, I am very excited about the next book. There hasn't really been any news about it though, so I don't really know if it's happening, but I really did enjoy Angel Unseen. It was really good. I'd give it 4 stars. All right, that's it. That's all I read in the month of May. Okay, so let's get started with my June TBR. We're gonna fly through this because it's already 2:24. I have to go to work in like 25 minutes, so I need to go ahead and start this, and this video is already turning out to be longer than I expected, but oh well, it's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me open up my laptop. All right, so like normally I have 10 prompts, and I have changed them a little bit. I have 10 prompts, and I'm gonna choose 5 books this time. I usually pick 4, but it's the summer, so we're just gonna pick 5 and go for it and see how it goes. So I do have a busier month in June. I'm gonna be out of town for a week. I have friends coming in for a few days, so I'm gonna be a little bit busier, but I just wanna see how much I get to read, and so we're gonna just pick 5 books, and it's just gonna be a great time. So let's see what we come up with, and it'll be good. It'll be grand. It'll be a great time. Okay, so the prompts that I have is a romance on my shelf, a non-romance book, a book with blue on the cover, a KU book, a book of the month book, a book with red on the cover, mafia romance, set in high school, dark romance, or recommended by a friend. So these are like a little bit more specific, and I'm excited about it because I feel like the more specific I get with it, the more limited options I have, so I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and spin and see what we get. I'm not gonna look. Oh, good. This is a good one. I got really nervous because like right above it was book of the month book. And I really don't want to read one. I got book of the month book prompt last month, and I never read that book that I told myself I was gonna read. Anyways, KU book. This is a good one. I need to figure out what I'm gonna read. Where did my phone go? Okay, so for this prompt, I think I'm gonna read Just to Drop Out by J. Bree. This is the first book in the Hannaford Prep series. My friend Sam really recommended it to me and says it's like one of her all-time favorite series. She's read it like 3 times, and I really do like the writing of J. Bree, and I'm hoping that she doesn't do the same thing that she did in the Unseen book, where like we reread the same scene but from a different point of view. So I'm hoping that that doesn't happen, and I've heard really, really good things about this, so I'm crossing my fingers. This was the book that I was considering for set in high school, so let's just also hope and pray that we don't get that one, because I usually don't like books like that, but I put that on there because I wanted to pick this book, but we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope I don't get it. So I didn't even tell you guys what it's about. So I actually don't know what it's about. Let me figure that out first. So this is about a girl, I don't know her name, but she gets like moved out of, it says after surviving foster care in high school that like breeds all these crazy people, she gets like emancipation and a full ride scholarship to this like super exclusive school called Hannaford Prep. And basically these like juniors, these like 3 juniors like mess with her, and she like doesn't know if she's gonna survive because it's like she's stronger than the spoiled rich kid. It's the vibes. You guys know exactly what kind of book this is. So anyways, that's what that one's about. Let's go ahead and figure out my second read for the month of June. I like to not look. It's really just the suspense for me. It takes really long though for it to register. Like, see, we're waiting. Wait, oh my God, I'm an idiot. We're gonna remove KU books so we don't get it again. All right, here we go. All right, great. Definitely got the same one again. Please don't be. I feel like it's book of the month book. Oh no! How did I know that? Oh, I don't want this. I really should have put this on here, guys. So I think the book I'm gonna read for this is Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. I've heard really good things about it. It's not really what I'm in the mood for, but maybe by the end of the month I will be. I don't know. It just seems really sweet and really lighthearted, and I don't really know if that's like what I'm into right now. But I could read this, or I could read The Great Alone by Hannah Kristen. I talked about this last month in my TBR. Thought I was gonna read this, never did. So these are my 2 options. I really don't have time to explain what they're about. This is like a fake dating or fake fiance moment. And this is like a family who goes to Alaska because the dad has PTSD from war and he's like crazy. I don't know. He leaves them alone. I don't know. That's what these 2 are about. My camera's on like 12%, so we're really gonna rush through this. So those are my 2 options for this book, or for this prompt. I usually don't do options, but for this one specifically, I'll let myself do it. Okay, I need to pick out 3. I need to do 3 more prompts. No, I literally, why did I put this on here? Why? Literally, why? Okay, it's fine. Okay, so for this one, I'm hopefully finally going to freaking read The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I know there is like a little bit of a romance in this, but it's like not about that. So I'm gonna count this for a non-romance. This is about a guy who comes to this like magical house full of kids who have like magical powers. And he's like, I don't know if he's like a social worker, I think. But anyways, he goes to this house to like see what's up, and he just meets all these little misfits and kids who are like kicked out of society because they're not like picture perfect. And so I'm really excited about this. I've heard amazing things about it, so I think I'm gonna love it a lot. So I'm really excited about this one. Okay, we're on 10% on the camera battery. Let's do this. We need 2 more books. I removed my 2 prompts that time, so. No, no! Oh.
But we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope I don't get it, so.
Why do I always get the ones I don't want? Ah! Okay, it's fine. I actually do know one that I can read for this that I've been meaning to read. The problem is it's like a series, so I'm gonna wanna continue with it. But that is Deviant King by Rena Kent. I'm not even gonna explain what this book is about because it's literally basically the same synopsis as Just Drop Out by Jay Bree. The one about the girl who goes to a new high school and the guys are like really mean. I'm like almost 100% positive it's basically the same thing. Yeah, she basically shows up, one glance from the king of the school, and he like hates her and he wants to destroy her. And anyways, all the same, you know the vibes, you know it. So anyways, Deviant King by Rena Kent, I've heard is amazing and super dark, so I'm really excited about that. It does take place in high school though, so that does work. All right, great. One more prompt. Let's do this. Hopefully it's a good one. Please give me something good. It's a good one. It's a good one. That's a good one. So for this one, I think I'm going to read Sweet Surrender by, I can't see her name, Sav R. Miller. This is a mafia romance. That's really all I know about it. I don't really know what it's about. Obviously, it's like an arranged marriage or marriage of convenience kind of trope because it is the mafia. So, you know, we know we're gonna have that close proximity, which is my favorite. That's why I love mafia so much, and just like the darkness of it all. But I've seen like videos of this book on Book Talk. Like I've seen the author posting about it. I've seen other people posting about it. So it looks really, really good, and the writing looks good, and it looks spicy, and it looks dark, and it looks really fun. So I'm really excited. Also the cover, like this just screams mafia. So Sweet Surrender by Sav R. Miller. I'm really excited about it. I don't really know anything about it, but that's pretty much it. Well guys, those are the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of June, hopefully. And that is my May wrap up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. It really does help to support me when you guys do press that subscribe button. And as always, make sure to check the description box down below for links to my social media and my Amazon wishlist if you wish to support me there. And all of these books will also be linked down below if you want to purchase or find them online. And that is all I have for you guys today. I love you so much. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something bad.